Cause is something that's intriguing because it sort of speaks to the halo effect, and we were talking about before we came here tonight sort of whether the halo effect is real. And Sean and I were talking about how the halo effect may in fact only be real for one part. Since it's only real for one party, does that make a good partnership? So Cause is a place where that halo effect works in a way for both brands uniquely. I'm curious, and actually all of you have touched Cause in some way in your businesses, so I'm curious if you have any insights about that exact application of the halo effect.
Good point. Cause is a really big commitment to make. So when we were at Recycle Bank, and I guess I'll just be the measurement person, like one of the benefits that Recycle Bank does is it actually measures people's actions all the way from sort of intent to impact, like literally RFID chips in recycling bins, making sure that cities are increasing their recyclable volumes per household. And brands that partnered with us had to think really carefully about sort of how deep they wanted to get into that, because it's one thing to be going for the halo, it's another thing to really change your own practices and your operational practices and sort of practice what you preach.
That's the biggest challenge, because what I was going to say is that you just touched on two things, longevity and authenticity. They're so important. I mean, consumers might be forgiving if there's a one-off partnership between just two brands that doesn't go so well, it kind of flops, but you try to go into the Cause space, it's not authentic, it doesn't resonate, consumers are not going to be forgiving at all.
How do you measure your return on investment? Because you guys have been hinting at that all night.
One of the things we look at a lot now is how much we're being shared. So a lot of things that we do, if we have product that we put in our partnership, Styled By is a partnership we have with key bloggers that we give them our product, and we have to be very comfortable that they're going to take the product and style it anyway, and maybe with our competitors on the same person. So that is already a leap of faith in saying this is how the real world works. This is what people want to see from Gap. They don't want to see the head-to-toe catalog and us show them how to dress in our clothes every day. Every single piece is from Gap, but in reality, how they're going to wear the product. And if they share that, to us, that's a big win. So I think return on investment comes in a lot of different ways, but sometimes it may come from how much people are sharing your product and sharing stories about your product that you've let that kind of go into the universe and do what it will.
I think it's also return on objective that needs to be evaluated. Part should be mutually agreed upon with the brands, and I think also you can also selfishly have your own tactics and metrics that you want to have internally. But I can tell you in the mall world, in the retail environment, very often when we have brand alliances or partnerships with our retailers, we can actually get as granular as the SKU. So if there's a certain product that, for example, if we're working with Gap and they're doing some awesome common area program, or they're partnering with us on, we do a style tour with Stacey London. If Gap is a partner, they have to report their sales to us. So what we would do is actually go back and look at their monthly sales, look at what products did really well or what categories. So we can actually get pretty granular. But I would say you got to set it up front, make sure you know what you're evaluating.